Hello folks, I hope you're all doing well. We are down here in the greenhouse and it is freezing cold. You might be able to see that we're all frosted up down here, and that's pretty good timing because a lot of the seeds are sown at this time of year, and when we get seedlings on the go, it's nearly all done back up in the house and not in the greenhouse. And one of the things I make loads of use of at this time of year is grow lights, and that's because the growing season here in Scotland is really short. So if I want to grow things like tomatoes, chilies, bell peppers, anything like that, I've got to get the seeds started nice and early, and I'm doing my chilies at the moment to get them on the go, but it's far too cold for them to go outside, so I give them artificial light in the house where it's nice and warm, probably until about April, May sort of time, depending on how the frosts are looking before they go out. But one of the questions I get asked quite a lot, and I see this in the comments, is how much do grow lights cost? And it's not just how much do they cost to buy, but it's how much do they cost to run. And especially at the moment when we're in a cost of living crisis, I thought I would do a bit of an experiment and we would figure out exactly how much it costs to run different types of grow lights. Now I've got 3 different grow lights here and I'll come to them in just a second, but how have I figured this out? Well, I've got this rather clever little device here, and this is a Beswick energy meter. And what I'll do, all the things I'm using today, all the grow lights in this clever little meter here, I'll pop them in the description down below. You can click on the links, go and have a look yourself and see what you think of them. But basically any sort of appliance, but in our case today, grow lights, plug them into the front, pop the back plug into your socket, and this thing measures exactly how much energy that specific device uses. There's loads of different functionality on it. It measures different things, but we'll not get too much into what it can do today. We're just interested in how much energy some of these devices are using. And full disclosure, I'm going to give you all the figures today. This device here cost me $8.99 from Amazon. If you buy a twin pack, it's $15.99, so a little bit of a saving if you want to run 2 at the same time. I do have Amazon Prime, so I didn't pay for well, I did pay for delivery, but you know, it's all shared out through the Amazon Prime sort of scheme. So I didn't really pay for delivery, but I don't know if these are delivery free or not, so be sure to check that out. If you don't have Prime, if you click on the link, if you have a look, check that out before you think about getting some. So let me come on to the 3 different types of grow lights, and I've got 3 sort of very different types here. I will unclip this first lot here, and this is very much probably a set of grow lights that a lot of people have, or the first set of lights that people get off Amazon. These particular ones here were $21.99. You plug them in, they call them full spectrum. You generally just get blue, purple, red sort of light coming out the bottom. There's a couple of different features on the handle there where you can change it just to have blue light, just to have red light, how intense you want it to be, and obviously that has a bit of an effect on the power consumption. So let me pop that down there. I will also pick up this one here, and this has quite a few cables hanging off it because you can hang it from things, so you'll have to excuse me. And this is, and let me show you all the way around, a Spider Farmer SF1000. Now, full disclosure, Spider Farmer gave me this for free about 2 years ago. One of the many privileges of being a creator is sometimes people send you things for free. I'm very picky about what I accept, and I've got a good working relationship with Spider Farmer, and I can honestly say that their products are great. But what I would say is this particular light here, the SF1000, which is really, really good, is $129.99 on Amazon at the moment. So it's not cheap by any means, but how much power does it use? Is it any good? We will come to that. And one I'm not going to pick up is this one along here. So again, this is another Spider Farmer one. This is an SF600, and it's a slightly different configuration to that. So that one's nice and square, whereas this one is long and slim. So depending on what sort of size of space you have, what you want to grow, the SF1000 down there gives you lots of coverage. The little LEDs up there, it's quite compact, everything needs to be close together. The SF600 is long and slim, so if you've got a shelving unit like this, it's ideal for that. But the SF600 at the moment on Amazon is $99.99. Again, because I've got a good relationship with Spider Farmer, they gave me them for free, but we're not here to see how much they cost. I just wanted to give you full disclosure before we get into how much they cost to run. as to what I got for free, what I haven't, what I've paid for. But the ones on the top, I did pay for them myself on my own hard-earned money. Again, I will put links to these things in the description down below. Go and have a look at them. They've all got slightly different functionality in the way that they work. Shapes, sizes, coverages. Have a look. Do your research before you think about investing in anything like this. Like I say, they're $129.99 for the big ones, so it's a pretty sizable investment for something like that. Right, let me just jig things around a little bit here with the plug and whatnot, because I want to show you it working and how it gathers the data and what we've done with it. So I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. So in this next bit, I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of how I did the experiment. I do have some data, so I ran this over quite a few hours to gather up a reasonable set of data to come up with some accurate pricing. What I'll do now is I'll just show you how I gathered that data. So this is the plug, first of all, again, I mentioned before. You can see there on the screen, everything is zeroed. And I brought the trusty extension cable in here from the shed, so I can bring it closer to the camera and show you. And if I pop that in there, everything is still showing as 0 at the moment. And let us take the first set of grow lights, pop them in there and turn them on. Now it takes a little bit of time to start gathering data. So as soon as you do it, there's a little clock at the top there that times how long it's been on for. And then you can see here, it's starting to gather different data from the sets of grow lights that are plugged in. Now, if I just scroll through the function menu, just a little bit there, obviously just for this demo in here, I'm not going to gather a great deal of information, but one thing I like to look at that I think is quite telling when we see the different sets of grow lights, just to show that it works, the experiment, that they're different, is the amount of watts at the high end of the scale that it's using. So it records the lowest amount it uses and the highest amount it uses. And at the moment, for this set of grow lights here, the little LED ones, so hopefully you can see are turned on there, it's 5.6. Now I think it might be quite telling, or certainly from the experiment that I've already done, is what the others show in terms of that. So the next set I'm going to plug in here is the SF600. So that was that long, narrow set that sort of runs through. So the timer's going to go on there. I'm just going to scroll through the menu again. And let me just see if I can bring up that high reading that shows you. And we're up to 63.2. So it shows you when I first put them on there. Now that does settle down. That's the high. So that's when I've just put them on and powered them on, and it's gone straight up to that high reading. Now what I'm going to do, I didn't reset at that time because I knew that there was quite a difference between the SF600 and the basic set off Amazon. But what I will do now is I've just hit the reset button there. Now for the SF1000s, there's a little switch on the back. In the SF1000, it does have a dial on the back of it that you can change the brightness of. So we'll twist it round and we'll put it on the minimum to begin with. We'll turn it on and we should, in theory, start to see it coming on there. So you can see it starting to use power, and again we can scroll through the different menus and we can see the high there of 11.3. However, if I very quickly pop this up to 50%, we can see that that is shot up. It's still going up as the lights get brighter and brighter. We're up to a stable position of 47.9 there. Now if I put that up even further to 100%, I'm expecting to see that go up a little bit more, which it has done, and we're up to 97.8. Now that shows you the difference in the amount of power that these different sets of lights are using. Now we'll come to the figures in just a moment there, just bear with me. One thing I want to explain is the coverage. These grow lights here, the little LED ones on the top, you know, they're only going to cover quite a small area. See, the amount of seedlings and plants and things that you can fit underneath it are relatively small. You probably get about 2 to 3 seed trays. Let me grab a seed tray from here. Sorry, it's a bit dirty. You probably get about 2 or 3 of these at the most under one of those sets of grow lights. Obviously, if you look at the SF600, I can get what, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 of these under there for the SF600. And for the SF1000, I can fit loads underneath that. I couldn't give you the exact number, but I use it in a cupboard in the spare room in my house, and the coverage it gives is massive. And especially it's really good with that knob where you can turn the power of the light from sort of minimum up to 100%. I generally use it between 20 and 50%, so not going up to that maximum very often at all until some of the plants are right near the end and ready to go out. So that's all well and good, but let's now get down to brass tacks and see exactly how much these things cost to run. And for that, I've got my trusty Site Notes notebook that I like making my little notes in wherever I go, and these are brilliant. It's so much nicer than using a mobile phone, having a little bit of a pen and a pencil or whatever you've got and a little bit of paper just to write stuff down, and it's so nice. And I've done all my working out in here just to get some sums. So let's first of all get on to the Amazon bog standard entry-level grow lights there. So for one day, it will cost you around about 3.4 pence per day to run a set of those. And that's just over 24 pence per week, which isn't too bad whatsoever. Next up, the sort of medium-sized set here, the SF600, obviously a bit more powerful, a lot more coverage, going to cost a bit more. No adjustment on it from high to low to change things on it there either. It's just the lights are either on or off. So for those, they cost around about 15 pence per day, and that works out at £1.05 per week. And then on to the big set down here, the SF1000. Now for the experiment for the SF1000, I mentioned it's got the adjustable dial on it, so you can have it set to minimum or you can have it set to maximum. For the time I had them running, I had it set at 50%, so exactly in the middle. So this is just a sort of average cost over a period of time for one of those lights. Obviously you can dial that up or down. So per day they are 29 pence to run, and for a week that is £2.05. So a little bit of a difference there. So you can see us sort of stepping up through the different price ranges there. What I am pleased to say is that there's no real sort of astronomical costs at running these. They all run on LEDs, which is a really efficient way of lighting things. So I'm pleased to bits that I can keep running my grow lights in the house and keep things underneath them for the start of the season. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that and have learned something today, and it might give you a little bit of peace of mind if you're thinking about using a set of these grow lights for exactly how much they're going to cost you over the period of time that you're going to use them. If you found this video useful, please think about subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free. You can just click the red button down below. Or if you wait a minute or two right till the very end, a thing will pop up and you can click that, and that will help you to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked what we've done here. Please leave comments down below. Do you use grow lights? Did you realise how much they cost to run each week? Have you done any experiments yourself? I know for a fact that I am going to be a bit of a pain in the house over the next few weeks as I use my little gadget here to test every single appliance in the house to see how much power it's using over a fixed period of time. Anyway, that is me done for today. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.